Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Glory to God, Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvasesha Sunyavadini Bhattacharya Satarine Namaste Saraswati Gauravani Pracharine Nirvasesha Sunyavadini Bhattacharya Satarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivastava Gauravaita Vrinda Sankirtana Prabhu Nityananda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namaste Narasimhaya. Shilatankhana khalaye, Shilatankhana khalaye. Ito Narsingha Parato Narsingha, Ito Narsingha Parato Narsingha, Jata jami tato Narsimha. Oh jata jata jami tato Narsimha. Jata jata jami tato. Bahi Narsimha, Hidaye Narsimha. Bahi Narsimha, Hidaye Narsimha. Bahi Narsimha, Hidaye Narsimha. Namading Saranam Prapade. Narasimhamading Saranam Prapade. Tava Kara Kamala Bare Nakam Adbhuta Shringha Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanavinga Kesavadhita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadesha Hare Jaya Jagadesha Hare Prabhu Jaya Jagadesha Hare Bhutta Shingha Dalita Hiranyakashipu Kesavadhita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadesha Hare Jaya Jagadesha Hare Jaya Jagadesha Jayo Kesavadhita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadesha Hare Jaya Jagadesha Hare Jaya Jagadesha Hare Kesavadhita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadesha Hare Jagadesha Hare Jaya Jayo Narsimha Dev Narsimha Dev Narsimha Dev Jayo Narsimha Dev Jayo Palan Maharaj Jayo Palan Maharaj Palan Maharaj Jayo Palan Maharaj Jayo Jayo Prabhupada 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 जय नरसिंह भगवान की जय भक्तराज प्रहलाद महाराज की जय जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे
Thank you.
technical glitch, and therefore I'm going to have to call in the experts.
jai, Swami Bhaktivedanta Manor. All glory is to Darshan. All glory is to Darshan.
Stop now. What did you do? Comfort of your home. That's what I appreciate. Okay, the technical experts succeeded, and now we can resume. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Did someone just open that window? Can we close it? Is that okay? Are you able to follow this double beat? Yeah. That's good. Raji prasidham navanita chauram gopangananam chadukula chauram. Raji prasidham navanita chauram gopangananam chadukula chauram. Aneka janmarjita papa chauram chauragaganyam purusham namami. Aneka janmarjita papa chauram chauragaganyam purusham namami. That's it. Shri Radhikaya Hridayasya Chauram Navam Budasham Malakanti Chauram. Shri Radhikaya Hridayasya Chauram Navam Budasham Malakanti Chauram. Padashritanam Chasamasta Chauram Chauragaganyam purusham namami. Padashritanam chasamasta chauram chauragaganyam purusham namami. Akinchani kritya padashritam ya karoti vikshum patigehahinam. Akinchani kritpadashritan karoti vikshum patigehahinam. Kenapyahopi shana chauraidirg krishta shudova nachagat triyapi. Kenapyahopi Krishta Shudova Najagatrayepi. Yadiyanamapi haratya shesham Giri prasaran api paparashim Giri prasaran api paparashim Ascharya rupo nanuchaura idirg drishta shutova namaya kadapi Dhanam chamanam chatatendriyani Pranam shahritva mama sarvam eva Dhanam chamanam chatatendriyani Pranam shahritva mama sarvam eva Palayase kutra dritodya chaura Tvam bhakti damna simaya nirudha Palayase kutra dritodya chaura Tvam bhakti damna simaya nirudha Chinatsi ghoram yamapashabandham Binatsi bhimam bhavapashabandham Chinatsi ghoram yamapashabandham Binatsi bhimam bhavapashabandham Chinatsi sarvasya samastabandham Naivat mano bhakta kritam tu bandham Chinatsi sarvasya samastabandham Naivat mano bhakta kritam tu bandham Manmanase tamasarasha ghore Karagrahe dukkha maye nibadha Labhasvahe chaura hare chiraya Svachaurya dosho chitam eva dandam Sasada hridaye mariye Sasada hridaye mariye Mad bhakti pashadurta bandhana nishchalasan Mad bhakti pashadurta bandhana nishchalasan Tvam Krishna he pralaya koti shatantarepi Tvam Krishna he pralaya koti shatantarepi Sarvasva chaura hridayan nahi mochayami Sarvasva chaura nahi mochayami Raje prasidham navanita chauram Gopangananam chadukula chauram Raje prasidham navanita chauram Gopangananam chadukula chauram Aneka janmarjita papa chauram Chauragaganyam purusham namami Anekajnana papa chauram Chauragaganyam purusham namami Vaje prasidham navani Chauram Gopangananam Shadukula Chauram Navanita Chauram Gopangananam Shadukula Chauram Aneka Janmarjita Papa Chauram Chauragadanyam Purusham Namami Aneka Janmarjita Papa Chauram Chauragadanyam Purusham Namami. Hare Krishna, let's read the translation. I offer my respectful obeisances to that foremost of thieves, who is famous in Vraja as the butter thief, and he who steals the gopis' clothes, and who, for those who take shelter of him, steals the sins which have accrued over many lifetimes. So in this song, Srila Bilva Mangala Thakur is praising the Lord as a thief, a great thief. What does he steal? Well, certainly he's famous as a butter thief, and he's famous as the stealer of the gopis' clothes. But he also steals, fortunately for those who take shelter of him, he steals away their sins which have accrued over many lifetimes. How long does this lifetime drag out, huh? So we can just imagine how many lifetimes we have accrued so many negative karmic reactions, and Krishna can wipe them all out for one who takes full shelter of him. Prabhu.
I offer my respectful obeisances to the foremost of thieves, who steals Srimad Radhika's heart, who steals the dark luster of a fresh rain cloud, and who steals all the sins and sufferings of those who take shelter of his feet.
He turns his surrendered devotees into paupers and wandering homeless beggars. Alas, such a fearsome thief has never been seen or heard of in all the three worlds.
Mere utterness of his name purges one of the mountains of sins. Such an astonishingly wonderful thief I have never seen or heard of anywhere.
O thief, having stolen my wealth, my honor, my senses, my life, and my everything, where can you run to? I have caught you with the rope of my devotion.
You cut the terrible noses of Yamaraja. You sever the dreadful noses of material existence, and you slash everyone's material bondage, but you are unable to cut the knot of fastened by your own loving devotees.
So this thief may escape from the terrible noose of Yamaraj. He may be unbound by the ropes of this material existence because he's transcendental. And he can slash everyone's material bondage, but he cannot cut the knot fastened by his own loving devotees. Therefore, Srila Bilva Mangala Thakur says, O stealer of my everything, O thief, today I have imprisoned you. Right? This is usually where a thief who is caught ends up. He ends up in prison. So, today I have imprisoned you in the miserable prison house of my heart, which is very fearful due to the terrible darkness of my ignorance. And there, for a very long time, you will remain, receiving appropriate punishment for your crimes of thievery.
O Krishna, the thief of my everything, the noses of my devotions, remaining forever tied, You will continue to reside in the prison house of my heart because I will not release you for millions of eons.
Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda ki, Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Shri Gaurnitai ki, Srila Bilva Mangala Thakur ki. Jai. So Krishna becomes caught, even though he's a great thief. He steals so many things. He can only be caught by the love, the pure love of his devotee. And Lord Brahma also says, Jnana prayasam udapassiramata eva. Jivanti san mukaritam bhavati avartam. Stane stita shruti gitam tanuvangmano bhirye praya shojita jitopya sitaistri lokyam. Krishna is unconquerable, he's Ajita. But he becomes conquered. How is that? Yes, he becomes conquered by someone who dedicates their everything, their body, their mind, and their words, to hearing the glories of the Lord, the narrations of the Lord, vibrated by Krishna's pure devotees. Krishna becomes purchased, conquered, caught, bound up by this process of love. He's bound only by the love of his devotees. And therefore it is recommended that we hear about the Lord constantly. Because by this act of hearing, great service is done. And Krishna agrees to be conquered by one who exclusively hears about him from those great devotees who vibrate his glories. And therefore, we're taking this opportunity to hear from Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya, who left us so many wonderful books. Even though he physically left our vision, he remains with us in the form of his words. So every day almost we're reading from this book called Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I was just listening to a lecture today where Srila Prabhupada was describing the special significance of hearing about Krishna. And he said that this temple, or any temple, is meant for the purpose of giving people a chance to hear about Krishna. So if we come and we're able to sit down and listen to the narrations of Krishna, his glories, and the prayers offered by great devotees, then we are actually fulfilling the purpose of this temple and receiving great benefit. So let's see where we left off on Friday. We're in volume 2 of the 2 volumes, and we're at chapter 5. Talks between Krishna and Rukmini. Rukmini Devi is the principal queen of Krishna at Dwarka. So the Lord decided he wanted to agitate her a little bit. He wanted to draw out from her some anger toward him. Sometimes the husband may do this if the wife is very grave and always careful in her mood and her attitude of service to the husband. The husband may like to see her sometimes angry, direct some anger toward him. Although in this day and age it's not too difficult, it comes naturally for many people. However, Rukmini Devi was naturally very subservient to the Lord. So Krishna wanted to see if he could make her a little bit angry at him. And he said many things that disturbed her and upset her. He basically told her that she should have married someone else and that he didn't actually love her. And instead of being agitated and angry by this, she actually fainted. She was very distressed. And of course, when the Lord saw this reaction, he immediately consoled her and told her that I was just joking with you. Yeah, I didn't mean it. Actually, you're very, very dear to me. And then Rukmini Devi responded to all of the previous things that she had heard and actually pointed out how they were true if one looks at him one looks at them from a particular angle of vision. So Rukmini Devi is now replying to all of the things the Lord said, and by her reply, she glorifies Krishna. She says to Krishna, oh, by the way, this is not a formal lecture or class, we're just hearing from Srila Prabhupada, and we're also inviting any comments or discussion or questions. So if you hear something and it strikes you as very significant or wonderful, and if you have any question on anything that you hear, please feel free to speak up. Rukmini says, you have said that you are penniless. She's telling Krishna this. You have said that you are penniless, and that is correct. You distribute yourself completely to these great souls and devotees. Knowing this fact perfectly well, I rejected even such great personalities like Lord Brahma and King Indra. My Lord, the great time factor acts under your direction only. The time factor is so great and powerful that within moments it can effect devastation anywhere within the creation. Considering all these factors, I thought Jarasandha, Shishupala, and similar other princes who wanted to marry me to be no more important than ordinary insects. So Rukmini Devi here is saying that Krishna distributes himself completely to his devotees. He gives himself to his devotees, just as he did on the warfield of Kurukshetra. Arjuna was shooting his arrows and Lord Krishna was driving Arjuna's chariot, taking the position of a servant of his own devotee. He gives himself completely to one who loves him. My dear all-powerful son of Vasudeva, your statement that you have taken shelter within the water of the ocean, right? Because he built his fort at Dwarka, yes, which was not on the mainland, it was off the shore, and he set up a fortress there to keep out his enemies. So she says, Rukmini Devi says, your statement that you have taken shelter within the water of the ocean, being afraid of all the great princes, is quite suitable. But my experience with you contradicts this. I have actually seen that you kidnapped me forcibly in the presence of all these princes. At the time of my marriage ceremony, simply by giving a jerk to the string of your bow, you very easily drove the others away and kindly gave me shelter at your lotus feet. I still remember vividly that you kidnapped me in the same way as a lion forcibly takes his share of hunted booty, driving away all other small animals within the twinkling of an eye. Krishna was no slouch. Easily he defeated all the princes and stole away Rukmini Devi. She was remembering his wonderful chivalrous prowess. My dear lotus-eyed Lord, I cannot understand your statement that women and other persons who have taken shelter under your lotus feet pass their days only in bereavement. From the history of the world, we can see that princes like Anga, Prithu, Bharata, Yayati, and Gaya were all great emperors of the world. And there were no competitors to their exalted positions. But in order to achieve the favor of your lotus feet, they renounced their exalted positions and entered into the forest to practice penances and austerities. When they voluntarily accepted such a position, accepting your lotus feet as all in all, does it mean that they were in lamentation and bereavement? My dear Lord, you have advised me that I can still select another from the princely order and divorce myself of your companionship. But, my dear Lord, it is perfectly well known to me that you are the reservoir of all good qualities. Great saintly persons like Narada Muni are always engaged simply in glorifying your transcendental characteristics. If someone simply takes shelter of such a saintly person, he immediately becomes freed from all material contamination. And by coming in direct contact with your service, the goddess of fortune agrees to bestow all her blessings. Under the circumstances, what woman who has once heard of your glories from authoritative sources, and somehow or other has tasted the nectarian flavor of your lotus feet, can be foolish enough to agree to marry someone of this material world, who is always afraid of death, disease, old age, and rebirth? This is quite a sentence, isn't it? Under the circumstances, what woman who has once heard of your glories from authoritative sources, right? So, a woman who has heard about Krishna, and somehow or other has tasted the nectarian flavor of your lotus feet, can be foolish enough to agree to marry someone of this material world who is always afraid of death, disease, old age, and rebirth. Krishna is not afraid of these things because he's completely transcendental. He has nothing to do with this material world. I have therefore accepted your lotus feet, not without consideration, but after mature and deliberate decision. My dear Lord, you are the master of the three worlds. You can fulfill all the desires of all your devotees in this world and the next. Because you are the supreme soul of everyone. It's not a problem for Krishna to solve everyone's problem and to fulfill anyone's desire. I have therefore selected you as my husband, considering you to be the only fit personality. You may throw me in any species of life according to the reaction of my fruitive activities. And I haven't the least concern for this. My only ambition is that I may always remain fast to your lotus feet, because you can deliver your devotees from illusory material existence and are always prepared to distribute yourself to your devotees. My dear Lord, you have advised me to select one of the princes such as Shishupal, Jarasandha, or Dantavakra. But what is their position in this world? They are always engaged in hard labor to maintain their household life, just like the bulls working hard day and night with the oil-pressing machine. They are compared to asses, beasts of burden. They are always dishonored like the dogs, and they are miserly like the cats. They have sold themselves like slaves to their wives. Any unfortunate woman who has never heard of your glories may accept such a man as her husband, but a woman who has learned about you, that you are praised not only in this world, but in the halls of the great demigods like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, will not accept anyone besides yourself as her husband. A man within this material world is just a dead body. In fact, superficially, the living entity is covered by this body, which is nothing but a bag of skin, decorated with beards and mustaches, hairs on the body, nails on the fingers, and hairs on the head. A decorated bag of skin, Rukmini says. Within this decorated bag, there are bunches of muscles, bundles of bones, and pools of blood, always mixed up with stool, urine, mucus, bile, and polluted air, and enjoyed by different kinds of insects and germs. A foolish woman accepts such a dead body as her husband, and in sheer misunderstanding loves him as her dear companion. This is only possible because such a woman has never tasted the ever blissful flavor of your lotus feet. My dear lotus-eyed husband, you are self-satisfied. You do not care whether or not I am beautiful or qualified. You are not at all concerned about it. Therefore, your non-attachment for me is not at all astonishing. It is quite natural. You cannot be attached to any woman, however exalted her position and beauty. Whether you are attached to me or not, may my devotion and attention be always engaged at your lotus feet. The material mode of passion is also your creation, so when you passionately glance upon me, I accept it as the greatest boon of my life. I am ambitious only for such auspicious moments. After hearing Rukmini's statement and her clarification of each and every word which he had used to arouse her anger of love toward him, Krishna addressed Rukmini as follows. My dear chaste wife, my dear princess, I was expecting such an explanation from you, and for this purpose only I spoke all those joking words, so that you might be cheated of the real point of view. Now my purpose has been served. The wonderful explanation that you have given to each and every word of mine is completely factual and approved by me. O most beautiful Rukmini, you are my dearmost wife. I am greatly pleased to understand how much love you have for me. Please take it for granted that no matter what ambition and desire you might have, and no matter what you might expect from me, I am always at your service. And it is a fact also that my devotees, my dearmost friends and servitors, are always free from material contamination, even though they are not inclined to ask from me such liberation. My devotees never desire anything from me except to be engaged in my service. And yet, because they are completely dependent upon me, even if they are found to ask something from me, that is not material. Such ambitions and desires, instead of becoming the cause of material bondage, become the source of liberation from this material world. This is a very interesting sentence. Lord Krishna says, my devotees never desire anything from me except to be engaged in my service. And then he says, and yet, because they are completely dependent upon me, even if they are found to ask something from me, that is not material. Right? So if a devotee is found even to ask something from Krishna, because they're completely dependent upon him alone, it is not material, even if they are found to ask something from him. Such ambitions and desires, instead of becoming the cause of material bondage, become the source of liberation from this material world. My dear chaste and pious wife, I have tested on the basis of strict chastity your love for your husband, and you have passed the examination most successfully. I have purposely agitated you by speaking many words which were not applicable to your character. But I am surprised to see that not a pinch of your devotion to me has been deviated from its fixed position. My dear wife, I am the bestower of all benedictions, even up to the standard of liberation from this material world. And it is I only who can stop the continuation of material existence and call one back to home, back to Godhead. One whose devotion for me is adulterated, worships me for some material benefit, just to keep himself in the world of material happiness, culminating in the pleasure of sex life. One who engages himself in severe penance and austerities, just to attain this material happiness, is certainly under the illusion of my external energy. Persons who are engaged in my devotional service simply for the purpose of material gains and sense gratification certainly are very foolish. Material happiness based on sex life is available in the most abominable species of life, such as the hogs and dogs. No one should try to approach me for such happiness, because it is available even if one is put into a hellish condition of life. So Krishna directly himself says, don't approach him for such material happiness culminating in sex life. It's even available to those in hellish conditions. He says, it is better, therefore, for persons who are simply after material happiness and not after me to remain in that hellish condition. Srila Prabhupada writes, material contamination is so strong that everyone is working very hard day and night for material happiness. The show of religiousness, austerity, penance, humanitarianism, philanthropy, politics, science, everything is aimed at realizing some material benefit. For the immediate success of material benefit, the materialistic persons generally worship different demigods, and under the spell of material propensities, they sometimes take to the devotional service of the Lord. Sometimes it so happens that if a person sincerely serves the Lord and at the same time maintains material ambition, the Lord very kindly removes the sources of material happiness. Without finding any recourse in material happiness, the devotee then engages himself absolutely in pure devotional service. So Krishna breaks the spell of material attachment. We think that we'll be happy by this and by that in the material world. But if we're also sincere about loving Krishna, then one of his great kindnesses is that he will break the spell of our illusion. By removing the thing that is keeping us here. But he doesn't leave us in the lurch. He may take away that thing which is keeping us in material entanglement, but he will give that thing which will bring us to real transcendental happiness. I once saw this cartoon of a child, and she was very attached to, I don't know, I think it was a balloon. It might even, maybe it was a small stuffed toy. Anyway, and in front of her was Lord Jesus, and he was asking her to hand over the toy. And she was very reluctant to hand it over because she's attached. Yeah? But he was requesting her, give me, hand it over. And in the cartoon, of course she was afraid and she was reluctant. She was attached and she didn't want to hand it over. But she didn't see that behind Lord Jesus' back, he was holding this much greater, beautiful, wonderful toy. Yes? That was waiting for her. That was lying in store for her. So, something of greater value could be achieved. But until she gave up the lesser thing, she was not able to receive it. So we may be very hung up on something in this material world, not knowing the value of transcendental gift, transcendental benefit. And we're desperately clinging on to whatever it is we're enjoying in this material world. But Krishna wants to give us something that is infinitely more wonderful, more bliss-providing. Bliss-providing. What is bliss-providing in this material world? you know. You can make it last for a few moments, a few minutes. Material enjoyment is like drowning in an ocean. And while you're under the water, you're thinking, I desperately must get a gasp of air. And then you're allowed up to take that gasp of air, and during that gasp of air, you're thinking, finally, happiness, this is happiness. I've arrived at happiness. But we don't realize that the next moment, again, we will be pushed under the water. So this is the condition of happiness in the material world. Happiness in the material world means a temporary reprieve from the misery, the problem, the trouble, the suffering, the strife. That is all. Just some temporary reprieve and a glimmer of hope. But nothing here lasts. Whether it is giving apparent happiness or even distress, it is always fluctuating. Therefore Krishna says, tolerate. Matra sparshastu kantaya. Sukha. God, I can't remember this word. Matra sparshastu kantaya. How does it go? A little louder? Yes? Shitash, yeah, that's Shitoshna Sukha Dukkada. Thank you, yeah. Shitoshna Sukha Dukkada. Agama Payano Nitya. Stam Statikshasva Bharata. Material happiness and distress, they come and go. Just like the winter and summer seasons. And what to do? Tolerate. Tolerate, that's it. Yeah, the winter comes, the days are short, the night is long, dark and cold, and it rains a great deal more. And you're thinking, okay, in just a few months of this, then it'll be summer. Yeah? Okay. Then summer comes, great. But then, you know, so many things happening, the family drag you here and there, you get no peace. Yeah? And for a couple of weeks it's crazy hot, and you're trying to solve that problem. Anyway, maybe you enjoy a little more in the summer. Yeah? But it's going to end, and you're thinking, oh no, now it's July, now it's August, September, oh no, winter's coming and the summer is over and I couldn't even enjoy it. And then you're again in winter, oh it's winter, okay, but just a few more months and it'll be summer, right? So winter and summer seasons, coming and going, coming and going. In the same way, happiness and distress, coming and going, coming and going. And Krishna says, just tolerate. Tolerate them. So material distress and happiness, so-called happiness, it just has to be tolerated. It's not really lasting peace or happiness. You get a little bit of something happy, but then it will be taken away or it'll be lost. It's not real happiness. It is simply the source of more suffering. Because you get something that makes you happy, but if it ends and you become miserable, then what's the point? That happiness was just another source of misery. So everything in the material world is ultimately unhappy, because it all yields unhappiness. So Krishna, he knows this, and we don't. Or rather, we're reluctant to accept it. Oh no, but, I can make it work, or I'll be happy. I've solved my biggest problem, and now it's plain sailing from here on. I'll make it work, right? Really? Look around, We just have to come to terms with the fact that this place is always going to be throwing things at us that cause us trouble. And we have to try to navigate that and tolerate that. And how can we do that? Well, we can do it when we are sheltered. Sheltered by Krishna's service. Because that is real shelter. If you're in the ocean and you're drowning and you're being pushed under the water, it's hellish. But if you've got a nice little submarine Yeah? And you got a like cozy little submarine, right? Some windows, it's very warm, plenty to eat. Yeah, and the waves are crashing, and rolling and over and under and everything. But you're in your little submarine, looking out. Oh, look at the nice waves. Hare Krishna. So, Krishna's service, Krishna consciousness is like that little boat, that submarine, that allows us to be unaffected, undisturbed by the waves of this material world. Of course, it takes practice, and dedication, but we will find that shelter, certainly. That's why we're hearing. This is shelter. When we're hearing about Krishna, when we're chanting the Lord's holy names, when we're engaged in His service according to the instructions of authorities, we feel sheltered from all of the troubles and pangs of this material world. So Krishna knows what we actually need. He knows what will make us happy. And therefore, if He wants to be really kind to a devotee, He practically forces that devotee to take shelter of Him and to give up false material happiness. Without finding any recourse in material happiness, the devotee then engages himself absolutely in pure devotional service. Lord Krishna continued, my dear, best of the queens, it is clearly understood by me that you have no material ambition. Your only purpose is to serve me, and you have long been engaged in unalloyed service. Just before we go any further, does anyone have any thoughts, questions, complaints? No? Are we all accepting of what we've heard? Or are we holding out for material success against all odds? I will get it and make it last forever and ever and ever. Okay. So we're accepting the verdict of the Supreme Lord Hare Krishna. So the Lord continued, my dear best of the queens, it is clearly understood by me that you have no material ambition. Your only purpose is to serve me, and you have long been engaged in unalloyed service, pure, unmixed service. Krishna continues, exemplary, unalloyed devotional service not only can bestow upon the devotee liberation from this material world, but it also promotes him to the spiritual world for being eternally engaged in my service. Persons who are too addicted to material happiness cannot render such service. Women whose hearts are polluted and full of material desires devise various means of sense gratification, while outwardly showing themselves to be great devotees. This is a heavy statement by the Lord. Women whose hearts are polluted and full of material desires devise various means of sense gratification, while outwardly showing themselves to be great devotees. My dear honored wife, although I have thousands of wives, I do not think that any one of them can love me more than you. The practical proof of your extraordinary position is that you had never seen me before your marriage. You had simply heard about me from a third person, and still your faith in me was so fixed that even in the presence of many qualified, rich, and beautiful men of the royal order, you did not select any one of them as your husband, but insisted on having me. You neglected all the princes present, and very politely you sent me a confidential letter inviting me to kidnap you. While I was kidnapping you, your elder brother Rukmi violently protested and fought with me. As a result of the fight, I defeated him mercilessly and disfigured his body. At the time of Aniruddha's marriage, when we were all engaged in playing chess, There was another fight with your brother Rukmi on a controversial verbal point, and my elder brother Balaram finally killed him. I was surprised to see that you did not utter even a word of protest over this incident. Because of your great anxiety that you might be separated from me, you suffered all the consequences without speaking even a word. As the result of this great silence, my dear wife, you have purchased me for all time. I have become eternally under your control. You sent your messenger to me, inviting me to kidnap you. And when you found that there was a little delay in my arriving on the spot, you began to see the whole world as vacant. At that time, you concluded that your beautiful body was not fit to be touched by anyone else. Therefore, thinking that I was not coming, you decided to commit suicide and immediately end that body. My dear Rukmini, such great and exalted love for me will always remain within my soul. As far as I am concerned, it is not within my power to repay you for your unalloyed devotion to me. Srila Prabhupada writes, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna certainly has no business being anyone's husband or son or father, because everything belongs to him and everyone is under his control. He does not require anyone's help for his satisfaction. He is Atmarama, self-satisfied. He can derive all pleasure by himself, without anyone's help. When the Lord descends to play the part of a human being, he plays a role either as a husband, son, friend, or enemy, in full perfection. As such, when he was playing as the perfect husband of the queens, especially of Rukminiji, he enjoyed conjugal love in complete perfection. According to Vedic culture, although polygamy is allowed, none of the wives should be ill-treated. In other words, one may take many wives only if he is able to satisfy all of them equally as an ideal householder. Otherwise, it is not allowed. QED. This is the conclusion. Let me read this again. According to Vedic culture, although polygamy is allowed, none of the wives should be ill-treated. In other words, one may take many wives only if he is able to satisfy all of them equally as an ideal householder. Otherwise, it is not allowed. Lord Krishna is the world teacher. Therefore, even though he had no need for a wife, he expanded himself into as many forms as he had wives, and he lived with them as an ideal householder, observing the regulative principles, rules, and commitments in accordance with the Vedic injunctions and the social laws and customs of society. For each of his 16,108 wives, he simultaneously maintained different palaces, different establishments, and different atmospheres. Thus the Lord, although one, exhibited himself as 16,108 ideal householders. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the second volume, 5th chapter of Krishna, Talks between Krishna and Rukmini. Any thoughts, questions, complaints? Very what? Knowledgeable. Did you have anything to add? Anything you wanted to reflect on?
How many wives did you say?
16,108. And he was able to maintain each of them perfectly. And separately, each of them had their own palace. Yes. Krishna's father, Vasudeva, he had 16 wives. Very busy. Yes. Very busy attracting us to him. Yeah. He has no need to do anything, actually. Natasya karyam karanam chavidite, natasya maschabhyati kashtadishyate. Parasya Shaktir Vividhai Vishriti Svabhavika Jnana.
You only need one big smile.
Pardon?
Big smile.
You only need a big smile.
Yeah, from Krishna, you only want one big smile.
You just want one big smile? Wow, you're easy to please. That's very good.
If you ask too much, you don't get it. If you ask little, you might get it.
I see.
It's very good. Where are you reading it from? Which book?
This is from Krishna book.
Krishna book, yes.
Krishna book.
I haven't come to that stage yet. I think it's still on the 8th chapter or something.
Okay, yeah. Such an amazing book.
Yeah.
Srila Prabhupada is describing all of the different pastimes of the Lord, but he is giving us the complete Vedanta philosophy throughout, which is repeated again and again by the Lord's devotees in this book. Any other thoughts before we go on to the next chapter? Anyone has a problem with this polygamy? Any objections? Let's read it again. According to Vedic culture, although polygamy is allowed, none of the wives should be ill-treated. In other words, one may take many wives only if he is able to satisfy all of them equally as an ideal householder. Otherwise, it is not allowed. So the system itself is very good, Srila Prabhupada mentions in several places. Because generally there is a greater female population than male population. So how will you get all of the women married? How will they be under the protection of husband? So it was allowed. But it is not allowed unless one is able to satisfy them all equally as an ideal householder. Chapter 6 of Volume 2, the genealogical table of the family of Krishna. Krishna had 16,108 wives, and in each of them he begot 10 sons. All of them equal to their father in the opulences of strength, beauty, wisdom, fame, wealth, and renunciation. Like father, like son. All the 16,108 wives of Krishna were princesses. And when each saw that Krishna was always present in her respective palace and did not leave home, they considered Krishna to be a hand-pecked husband who was very much attached to them. Every one of them thought that Krishna was her very obedient husband. But actually, Krishna had no attraction for any of them. Although each thought that she was the only wife of Krishna and was very, very dear to him, Lord Krishna, since he is Atmarama, self-sufficient, was neither dear nor inimical to any one of them. He was equal to all the wives and treated them as a perfect husband just to please them. For him, there was no need for even a single wife. In fact, since they were women, the wives could not understand the exalted position of Krishna nor the truths about him. So if anyone lodges criticism at Krishna, oh, why does he have to marry so many wives? What kind of a person is he? So attached to so many women? Well, no, you've completely misunderstood. Krishna had no need for even a single wife. Rather, he was reciprocating with their love. He says in Bhagavad Gita, Yayatamam prapadyante tamstataiva bhajami. As you surrender unto me, I reward you accordingly. As you approach me, I reciprocate. As you love me, I love you. All the princesses who were wives of Krishna were exquisitely beautiful, and each one of them was attracted by Krishna's eyes, which were just like lotus petals, and by his beautiful face, long arms, broad ears, pleasing smile, humorous talk, and sweet words. Influenced by these features of Krishna, they all used to dress themselves very attractively, desiring to attract Krishna by their feminine bodily appeal. They used to exhibit their feminine characteristics by smiling and moving their eyebrows, thus throwing sharpened arrows of conjugal love just to awaken Krishna's lusty desires for them. Still, they could not arouse the mind of Krishna or his sex appetite. This means that Krishna never had any sex relations with any of his many wives, save and except to beget children. Save and except to beget children. The queens of Dwarka were so fortunate that they got Lord Sri Krishna as their husband and personal companion, although he is not approachable by exalted demigods like Brahma. They remained together as husband and wife, and Krishna, as an ideal husband, treated them in such a way that at every moment there was an increase of transcendental bliss in their smiling exchanges, talking and mixing together. Each and every wife had hundreds and thousands of maidservants, yet when Krishna entered the palaces of his thousands of wives, each one of them used to receive Krishna personally by seating him in a nice chair, worshipping him with all requisite paraphernalia, personally washing his lotus feet, offering him betel nuts, massaging his legs to relieve them from fatigue, fanning him to make him comfortable, offering all kinds of scented sandalwood pulp, oils and aromatics, putting flower garlands on his neck, dressing his hair, getting him to lie down on the bed and assisting him in taking his bath. Thus they served always in every respect, especially when Krishna was eating. They were always engaged in the service of the Lord. So this is how an ideal wife serves the ideal husband, Krishna. Always attentive. Of the 16,108 queens of Krishna, each of whom had 10 sons, there is the following list of the sons of the first 8 queens. By Rukmini, Krishna had 10 sons: Pradyumna, Charudeshna, Sudeshna, Charudeha, Sucharu, Charugupta, Bhadracharu, Charuchandra, Vicharu, and Charu. None of them were inferior in their qualities to their divine father, Lord Krishna. Similarly, Satyabhama had 10 sons, and their names are as follows. And so these are all the sons of Lord Krishna. So these are the sons by Satyabhama: Bhanu, Subhanu, Svarbhanu, Prabhanu, Bhanuman, Chandrabhanu, Brihadbhanu, Atibhanu, Shribhanu, and Pratibhanu. The next queen, Jambavati, had 10 sons, headed by Samba. Their names are as follows: Samba, Sumitra, Purujit, Shatajit, Sahasrajit, Vijaya, Chitraketu, Vasurman, Dravida, and Kratu. Lord Krishna was specifically very affectionate to the sons of Jambavati. By his wife Satya, the daughter of King Nagnajit, Lord Krishna had 10 sons. They are as follows: Veera, Chandra, Ashvasena, Chitragu, Vegavan, Vrisha, Ama, Shankar, Vasu, and Kunti. Amongst all of them, Kunti was very powerful. Krishna had 10 sons by Kalindi, and they are as follows: Shruta, Kavi, Vrisha, Veera, Subahu, Bhadra, Shanti, Darshan, Purnamasa, and the youngest, Somaka. For his next wife, Lakshmana, the daughter of the king of Madras province, he begot 10 sons of the names Praghosha, Gatravan, Simha, Bala, Prabala, Urdhvaga, Mahashakti, Saha, Oja, and Aparajita. Similarly, his next wife, Mitravinda, had 10 sons. They are as follows: Vrka, Harsha, Anila, Gurdra, Vartana, Anada, Mahamsa, Pavana, Vatni, and Kshuti. His next wife, Bhadra, had 10 sons of the names Sangramajit, Brihatsena, Shura, Praharana, Arijit, Jaya, Subhadra, Vama, Ayu, and Satyaka. Besides these 8 chief queens, Krishna had 16,100 other wives, and all of them had 10 sons each. So how many sons did Lord Krishna have in total? 16,108 queens, 10 sons by each. How many sons altogether? 161,080. Yes. 161,080 sons. It's a big family. But Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If it's possible for anyone, it's possible for him. I mean, we can conceive more or less 16,000, right? But if Krishna wanted to have 16 million wives and create a city for all of them and a palace for each of them, he could do so. Not a problem. Because his potency is unlimited. He is not, what to say? He's not limited. That's what makes him God. God is great. How great is God? Well, here's just a little peek into his greatness. He can marry 16,108 wives, have 10 sons by each of them, and make room for everybody. Yeah? No problem. And that's just a little, glimpse of his prowess and potency. The eldest son of Rukmini, Pradyumna, was married with Mayavati from his very birth, and afterwards he was again married with Rukmavati, the daughter of his maternal uncle Rukmi. From this Rukmavati, Pradyumna had a son named Aniruddha. In this way, Krishna's family, Krishna and his wives, along with their sons and grandsons and even great-grandsons, all combined together to include very nearly 1 billion family members. Yes? 1 billion family members. And this is not a made-up story. This is the recounting of Lord Krishna's pastimes on earth 5,000 years ago. Conditions are not the same from one millennium to the next, so we should not doubt the descriptions of the revealed scriptures. Just because we can't imagine it according to our standard of expectation or experience doesn't mean it's not possible in a different age under different conditions. Like some insects, They're born, they live and they die before seeing the light of day. Yeah? They have no idea what goes on, what else is out there. They only know their tiny experience. So we should not think that, it's not within my little experience, it can't be true. That would be foolish. There are many things beyond our experience that are true. Nearly 1 billion family members. Rukmi, the elder brother of Krishna's first wife, Rukmini, was greatly harassed and insulted in his fight with Krishna. But on the request of Rukmini, his life was saved. Since then, Rukmi had held a great grudge against Krishna and was always inimical toward him. Nevertheless, his daughter was married with Krishna's son. and his granddaughter was married with Krishna's grandson Aniruddha. This fact appeared to be a little astonishing to Maharaj Parikshit when he heard it from Shukadeva Goswami. He said, "I am surprised that Rukmi and Krishna, who were so greatly inimical to one another, could again be united by marital relationships between their descendants." Right? The two brothers-in-law were not on good terms, but their descendants became married. Parikshit Maharaj was curious about the mystery of this incident, and therefore he inquired further from Shukadeva Goswami. Because Shukadeva Goswami was a practical yogi, nothing was hidden from his power of insight. A perfect yogi like Shukadeva Goswami can see past, present, and future in all details. Therefore, from such yogis or mystics, there can be nothing concealed. When Parikshit Maharaj inquired from Shukadeva Goswami answered as follows. Pradyumna, the eldest son of Krishna, born of Rukmini, was Cupid himself. He was so beautiful and attractive that the daughter of Rukmi, namely Rukmavati, could not select any husband other than Pradyumna during her Svayamvara. Therefore, in that selection meeting, she garlanded Pradyumna in the presence of all other princes. When there was a fight among the princes, Pradyumna came out victorious, and therefore Rukmi was obliged to offer his beautiful daughter to him. Although a far-off enmity was always blazing in the heart of Rukmi because of his being insulted by Krishna's kidnapping of his sister Rukmini, when his daughter selected Pradyumna as her husband, Rukmi could not resist consenting to the marriage ceremony just to please his sister Rukmini. And so Pradyumna became the nephew of Rukmi. Besides the 10 sons described above, Rukmini had one beautiful daughter with big eyes, and she was married to the son of Kritavarma, whose name was Bali. So we're going to have Bhagavad Gita class soon, just as soon as the speaker presents him or herself. So let's focus. Rukmini, Krishna's first wife, had 10 sons, but she also had one beautiful daughter with big eyes. And she was married to the son of Kritavarma, whose name was Bali. Although Rukmi was a veritable enemy of Krishna, he had great affection for his sister Rukmini, and he wanted to please her in all respects. On this account, when Rukmini's grandson, Aniruddha, was to be married, Rukmi offered his granddaughter Rochana to Aniruddha. Such marriage between immediate cousins is not very much sanctioned by the Vedic culture, but in order to please Rukmini, Rukmi offered his daughter and granddaughter to the son and grandson of Krishna. In this way, when the negotiation of the marriage of Aniruddha and Rochana was complete, a big marriage party accompanied Aniruddha and started from Dwarka. They traveled until they reached Bhojakarta, which Rukmi had colonized after his sister had been kidnapped by Krishna. This marriage party was and this was known to the king of Kalinga. So Rukmi was advised to retaliate against the family members of Krishna by challenging Balaram to play chess. Although not a very expert chess player, Sri Balaramaji was very enthusiastic in sporting activities. He accepted the challenge of Rukmi and sat down to play. Betting was with gold coins, and Balaram first of all challenged with 100 coins, then 1,000 coins, then 10,000 coins. Each time, Balaram lost and Rukmi became victorious. Sri Balaram's losing the game was an opportunity for the king of Kalinga to criticize Krishna and Balaram. Thus the king of Kalinga was talking jokingly and purposefully showing his teeth to Balaram. Because Balaram was the loser in the game, he was a little intolerant of the sarcastic, joking words. He became a little agitated, and when Rukmi again challenged Balaram, he made a bet of 100,000 gold coins. Fortunately, this time, Balaram won. Although Balaramaji had won, Rukmi, out of his cunningness, began to claim that Balaram was the loser and that he himself had won. Because of this lie, Balaramji became most angry with Rukmi. His agitation was so sudden and great that it appeared like a tidal wave in the ocean on a full moon day. Balaram's eyes are naturally reddish, and when he became agitated and angry, his eyes became more reddish. This time he challenged and made a bet of 100 million coins. Again, Balaram was the winner according to the rules of chess, but Rukmi again cunningly began to claim that he had won. Rukmi appealed to the princes present, and he especially mentioned the name of the king of Kalinga. At that time, there was a voice from the air during the dispute, and it announced that for all honest purposes, Balaram, the actual winner of this game, was being abused, and that the statement of Rukmi that he had won was absolutely false. In spite of this divine voice, Rukmi insisted that Balaram had lost, and by his persistence it appeared that he had death upon his head. Right? He persisted. Not a good idea. Trying to cheat Lord Balaram, even Akashvani, voice from the sky, said, Balaram is honest. And still Rukmi must have had a death wish. Falsely puffed up by the ill advice of his friend, he did not give much importance to the oracle, and he began to criticize Balaramji. He said, "My dear Balaramji, you two brothers, cowherd boys only, may be very expert in tending cows, but how can you be expert in playing chess or shooting arrows on the battlefield? These arts are well known only to the princely order." Hearing this kind of pinching talk by Rukmi, and hearing the loud laughter of all the other princes present there, Lord Balaram became as agitated as burning cinders. He immediately took a club in his hand and, without any further talk, struck Rukmi on the head. From that one blow, Rukmi fell down immediately and was dead and gone. Thus, Rukmi was killed by Balaram on that auspicious occasion of Aniruddha's marriage. So we'll leave it there for today. We have Bhagavad Gita class now. And tomorrow we're going to... Okay. And tomorrow we'll continue and find out what happened to the king of Kalinga. He didn't get off scot-free. This is one of my favorite stories. Krishna. It's simply called Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You can get it on the bookshelf out there at reception. Krishna. Thank you so much for listening. Sure.
Would you just 5 minutes of chair and all that? You going to do some singing? Oh, I was hoping you're going to join in with me. Try. Yeah? Yeah, he seems like a good boy. He'd be able to join in. So Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today's Bhagavad Gita class is going to be on a very special verse. It's like culmination of Chaturshloki. I don't know if you know Chaturshloki, the main essence of Bhagavad Gita. This verse is not very different. It talks about remembrance. It talks about knowledge, absolutely everything else. And we be reading that verse, then doing the purport, translation, and then we just have little discussion or talk, whichever way we talk about. Obviously, before we start Bhagavad Gita, we have our prayers to do. So we'll be just doing Om Namo Bhagavate and then Jai Radha Madhav. Does everyone know Jai Radha Madhav? Yes? Beautiful, beautiful little bhajan, 5 minutes. Prabhuji is very kindly staying to do Mridanga for me, so thank you so much. Prabhuji, what's your name? Sorry? David. So David Prabhu ki jai, he was reciting so beautifully from the Krishna book. So very nice. Especially, as you all know, it's Purushottam month. So everything and anything we do is glorious. Right. Shri Radha Gokulananda Bhagwani ki jai. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Come on everyone, your chance. My chance to hear. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Janvallabha Girivardhari. Jaya Gopi Janvallabha Girivardhari. Yashodanandan Braj Janaranjana. Yashodanandan Braj Janaranjana. Yashodanandan Braj Janaranjana. Jamuna Tira Banchari. Jamuna Tira Banchari. Jamuna Tira Banchari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gokul Nand, Radha Gokul Nand, Radhe. Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Gurudev. बोलो श्री श्री राधा गोकुलनंद भगवान जी की, श्री श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की, गौरा निताय की, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की. So, Hare Krishna, does anyone know how to push that down? Maybe I can, the actual keyboard. So today's verse is very special verse, like I was saying. It's chapter 15, Purushottam Yoga, the yoga of the Supreme. This is Purushottam month. So very nice. And the text itself is number 15, a very famous text. And in this chapter, as you know, Krishna is speaking all the way. So there's nobody else speaking. And Krishna is telling us, this verse, you'll see how lucky we all are, that what is that Krishna hasn't given us, really, to be honest. So we'll talk about that, and that's the verse on the top. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Prabhuji, have you got the keyboard so you'll push it down? Because we'll need to read the purport as well, yeah? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So welcoming you all, and obviously if there's any online viewers. And yes, very auspicious month, needless to say. I'm sure you've been hearing this from most of the speakers. Purushottam month, hence the candles going on, as you know. And everything this month comes once every 3 years. So imagine how auspicious, if this is your only time you've come. This is such a nice daytime arrangement Krishna's made for you to be here. So the verse itself goes like this. Sarvasya chaham ridhi sanivishto. Please repeat after me. 15:15. It's there in Sanskrit. Well, it's in English there as well. So please try and see what you can do to repeat after me. It's because it's Krishna's words. So it's really nice if we can make an endeavor. Krishna doesn't mind, there's a lot of things, we shouldn't do it like this, we shouldn't do it like that. Krishna is very merciful. Like children try and parents feel happy. This is exactly it. Don't worry if you won't be able to pronounce it perfectly or anything like that. When children make endeavor, that's what just parents want. And Krishna is our father, right? So let's just try again. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto. Matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Vede cha sarver aham eva vedyo. Vedes cha sarver aham eva vedyo. Vedanta krit veda vid eva chaham. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto. Matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Vede cha sarver aham eva vedyo. Vedanta krit veda vid eva chaham. So, Prabhuji, would you just bring the thing down, the English, please? So that's fine. Sarvasya, of all living beings. Cha, and. Aham, I. Hridi, in the heart. Sanivishta, situated. Mata, from me. Notice that it's a capital M here. Smritir, remembrance. Jnanam, knowledge. Apohanam, forgetfulness. And Veda, by the Vedas. Cha, also. Sarve, all. Aham, I am. Eva, certainly. Vedya, knowable. Vedanta Krit, the compiler of Vedanta. Vedavit, the knower of Veda. Eva, certainly. Cha, and. Aham, I. So, translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of Vedas. Beautiful verse, would you say? Because Krishna, what is Krishna saying? He's saying everything comes from him. Look, knowledge, remembrance. We all need remembrance, right? We need to know what our names are for a start. Never mind our families and all the other associates that we work with and socialize with. Would you say it's important that you remember things? At least remember your identity? Yes? And then knowledge. Who doesn't like knowledge? Why there's so many schools, universities, institutions, training institutions, right? Knowledge, very important. But here we will see what real knowledge is as well. What is this real knowledge which is going to come to assist me in me meeting the goal of my life? Yes? So we'll talk about that a little later on. And then he's saying forgetfulness. Wow. We got an excuse now? Every time I forgot something, I used to think, oh God, how could I do that? Now I can blame Krishna, right? No. This is not that kind of forgetfulness. But we'll again talk about it. But everything comes from Krishna. The point is, absolutely everything comes from Krishna. Because he's saying, where is his location? Okay, a quick question. Mataji in that white top. Could you please tell me what is the location where Krishna sits? We've just read it. Yes, Hridi, right? So that's the most sacred of places, isn't it? Everything that is most nearest to us or dearest to us, it's all in heart, right? So that's where Krishna is saying, I am seated in everyone's heart. He doesn't discriminate. You don't have to be certain nationality or certain visa national or, a female or a male. And there's no discrimination. He's saying, I am actually seated in everyone's heart. So that means everything, including animals, plants. Yes? Would you agree? How beautifully inclusive this culture is, right? We don't discriminate. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, which country you're from, which nationality, But Krishna is saying, I am seated in everyone's heart, irrespective of what their background is. And from Krishna, me in capital, comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. So that's one part, Hare Krishna. And then the second part is equally beautiful. What's Krishna saying there? Krishna is making his position very clear in this. He's saying that, why should you be attracted by me? Why do we all come to temple? What is his position? So the link itself, when you will go into the last two verses, and he's saying, by knowing his position, right, we would maybe able to appreciate what he does for us in our life. That's important to us, isn't it? We like to have all those people who've always done good for us. Would you always remember them? Yes or not? Or do you only remember people who've done bad stuff to you? Because then you're treating your heart as a dustbin, I'm afraid to say. That's why one needs to get rid of all the nastiness from your life, chuck it out. A, you'll feel much lighter. B, you have no space for people who've given you grief, right? You don't need them. They don't need you. Yes? And people are not bad. Sometimes it's just actions. So forgive, forget, and move forward. Yes? Most of you might have had somebody who's not behaved nice, or in your opinion, they didn't behave nicely with you. But we can't keep that kind of dust and malice and all these things in our heart. Yeah? So, what also then second part of what Krishna is stating in there is that by all the Vedas, I am to be known. That's where he's created his position. That's his position. Why are we coming here? Why are we attracted to Krishna? Because that's his position. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta and I am the knower of Vedanta. So not only has he compiled all the Vedas, yes, but he's also actually the knower. And this is where we said we'll talk about the real knowledge in a minute. We all have various kinds of knowledge in this world, but if we don't know what real knowledge is, we won't be able to help ourselves, irrespective of what we achieve by going to universities and all these different places. Yeah? So let's pray. Where's the, shall we go to the purport? Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki. The Supreme Lord is situated as Paramatma in everyone's heart, and it is from Him that all activities are initiated. The living entity forgets everything of his past life. Remember what I was saying to you, forgetfulness. We can't blame Krishna for forgetfulness of, oh yeah, I don't know where I put my keys. Yeah? He's talking about past life. The living entity forgets everything of his past life, but he has to act according to the direction of the Supreme Lord, who is witness to all his work. Therefore, he begins his work according to his past deeds. Required knowledge is supplied to him, and remembrance is given to him. And he forgets also about his past life. Thus, the Lord is not only all-pervading, he is also localized in every individual heart. He awards the different fruitive results. He is worshipable not only as the impersonal Brahman, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the localized Paramatma, but as the form of incarnation of Vedas as well. The Vedas give the right direction to people so that they can properly mold their lives and come back to Godhead. So do you see what is the purpose of Vedas? The Vedas offer knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Krishna in his incarnation as Vyasadeva is the compiler of Vedanta Sutra. The commentation on the Vedanta Sutra by Vyasadeva in the Srimad Bhagavatam gives the real understanding of Vedanta Sutra. The Supreme Lord is so full that for the deliverance of the conditioned soul, he is the supplier and digester of the foodstuff, the witness of his activity, and the giver of knowledge in the form of Vedas, and as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, the teacher of Bhagavad Gita. He is worshipable by the conditioned soul. Thus, God is all good. God is all merciful. Anta pravishta shashta jananam. The living entity forgets as soon as he quits his present body, but he begins his work again initiated by Supreme Lord. Although he forgets, the Lord gives him the intelligence to renew his work where he ended it in his last life. So not only does a living entity enjoy or suffer in this world according to the dictation from the Supreme Lord situated locally in the heart, but he receives the opportunity to understand the Vedas from him. If one is serious about understanding the Vedic knowledge, then Krishna gives the required intelligence. Why does he present the Vedic knowledge for understanding? Why? Because a living entity individually needs to understand Krishna. Vedic literature confirms this, yoso sarver veder jiyate. In all Vedic literature, beginning from 4 Vedas, Vedanta Sutra, and the Upanishad and the Puranas, the glories of the Supreme Lord are celebrated. By performance of Vedic rituals, discussion of the Vedic philosophy, and worship of the Lord in devotional service, he is attained. So that's the important thing, devotional service, right? Therefore, the purpose of Vedas is to understand Krishna. The Vedas give us direction by which to understand Krishna and the process of realizing him. The ultimate goal is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vedanta Sutra 1.1.4 confirms this in the following words. Tat tu samanvayat. One can attain perfection in 3 stages. By understanding Vedic literature, one can understand his relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By performing different processes, one can approach him, and at the end, one can attain the supreme goal, who is no other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this verse, the purpose of Vedas, the understanding of Vedas, and the goal of Vedas is clearly defined. So hence the reason this is such an important verse. Yeah. So, Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjala Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapad Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Tam Sajivan Sadhvaitam Sadhudutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Shri Radha Gokulanand Bhagwan Ji Ki Shri Shri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Ki Shri Shri Gora Nitai Ki Srila Prabhupada Ki Guru Maharaj Ki Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchange Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhescha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki. So the link from the previous 2 verses is that Krishna is saying in there that even I am the maintainer on both the personal level. So he talks about how he is even the fire that digests the food. He's the sun, moon, fire in one of the verses he says, and then he's also giving us the fire to digest even the food grains that we eat. Yeah? So that's the link, that he's the maintainer on both personal as well as the cosmic levels. And then when you move from 12 to 14, then you move on to 15, and in there he's saying, well, I'm maintaining that I am the compiler of Vedanta. I am the knower of Vedanta. And from me, meaning from Krishna, everything emanates, like the remembrance comes from him, the forgetfulness comes from him, and the knowledge comes from him, most importantly. So why is it so important? Obviously, we spoke about it, that Krishna is seated in everyone's heart. So he's in everyone's heart, and it's very important that we remember Krishna. Yeah? And for those reasons, why we do this mala, like Mataji, that lady, sorry, what's your name? Archana. Archana means worship as well, right? So Archana is worshipping by chanting the holy names of the Lord. Yeah? So that we can memorize. When we actually do a lot of memory, if we want to memorize something, do you remember when you guys were little how you had to mug up some of the timetables and some of the, remember how many times you had to write it? And so when you are repeating something and again and again and again, then from your short-term memory, it transfers into your long-term memory. And this was definitely, you should try and all learn and put it into your long-term memory. So you don't need to, you could just say, Sarvasya chaham riddhi sannivishto matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha vede cha sarver aham eva vedyo vede cha krit veda vid eva chaham, right? So you should be able to, without looking, also say, it's not a test to impress anyone. It's not because we want to be known by, oh yeah, she knows this, she knows that. It's none of that. But they are Krishna's words, yeah? And this is like I mentioned to you, I compare this to Chaturshaloki. Who's heard of Chaturshaloki in Bhagavad Gita? Mataji, you know? That's, Mataji knows all of this. So 10.8 to 10.11, that's Chaturshaloki. And in those verses as well, Krishna says these things, that everything is emanating from me. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samamrita. Pretty much everything, animate, inanimate, absolutely everything is, the source is Krishna. That's essentially what it's saying. And then the next one, it says matta, then he's talking about remembrance. And in one of them, that's 10.10, where he says, Dadami buddhi yogam tam, that I give them the intelligence by which they can come to me. But before they can come to me, he says, my devotees derive bliss by talking about me. Ramanti cha, tushyanti cha, they feel satisfied by talking about me. So this is all to do with remembrance, yes? If you like something, do you try and remember? Yeah? All the time? So this is where remembrance is so important. And for example, if I say to you, catch, can you catch please? See, your hands came up. I didn't even chuck anything. I just wanted to show you how Krishna has given us these instincts, these, like you blink, you want to catch something, your hands came up. If somebody was hitting you, you'd be like this straight away, right? Nobody's taught us these things. No one's taught this young man here how to crawl. He knows, right? This is all remembrance that Krishna has given us. Like child, as you would know, even I've got two lovely grandchildren. The older one is Janitai now. When he was little, he would go and pick up anything and just put it in his mouth. And my granddaughter now, Tarini Radha, she's trying to copy everything that he does. So if he's putting something in mouth, she wants to too. She doesn't even know the taste sometimes. Like we were trying to give a little ice cream when it was so hot. She didn't want it. But as soon as her brother Janitai had it, she saw he's eating it, she wanted the same thing. When she then had one lick, she was like sold. She was like, she wouldn't let go of it. Beforehand, she didn't even know what it was. So all these things, the remembrance, all these things that Krishna has made such an arrangement that we remember these things, right? Child knows, then bhakti, most importantly. So those of you who think, okay, I don't know if I can do this much, but this is like a bank balance which never finishes. Because whatever bhakti you're going to be doing in this life, this age, it's going to get banked. Yeah? And that bhakti then, say you couldn't fulfill the mission of your goal of life in this lifetime, then Krishna would give you maybe a birth in a Brahmin family or whichever family in which you can, irrespective of where you get taken birth, but you would be able to continue your bhakti. Have you seen some WhatsApp pictures and some YouTube videos of little children doing shlokas and knowing full philosophy? Have you ever wondered how come? They're 3-year-old, how can you do? It's like my grandson, he tells me, Mataji, like the other day I was just saying, Namaste Narishinghaya. He goes, Dadi, it's Singhaya, not Shinghaya. I was thinking, my God, you're 2.5, you're not even 3 years yet. And he knows that it needs to be pronounced as Singhaya rather than Shingaya. So some children, there's a lot of children out there, they are being born to devotees' families and big sadhus and their families, and they're probably taking reincarnation from when they were devotees, that they know a lot of their Shastra. Yes? And Shastra, or the Vedas, this is what it is. It's the backbone for our knowledge. Yeah? So, all this remembrance, if we just start cultivating this knowledge, we can't go wrong. It's not like any other knowledge that you would have studied in university, and I'm not saying please don't study. Please go, by all means, go achieve your goals. Make your parents proud, make your families, proud of everything. Get nice jobs or businesses, whatever else you want to do. But then make sure that you incorporate Krishna in your life, because without that, nothing. You know how zero thing works, right? You've all heard that analogy. If you put 0 in front of 1, it means something. If you just put 0, it's no point. Put 0, 0, and then something, no value. Yes? So similarly, unless and until you fight for the real knowledge, it's going to be a wasted life, I'm afraid to say. Because that's not what I'm stating. It states in the Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Yeah? That for us to know, we need to have knowledge. And knowledge is everything else that you need in this material world. I get that. But the real knowledge is, what do you understand by real knowledge? Knowledge means that we need to understand both soul and super soul in relation to this body. So I don't know if anyone remember chapter 13 of Bhagavad Gita, and there Krishna is explaining that there is a kshetragya, so there is like a field, and then the knower of field. So like you may think, oh, this is just Vrindavilasini here. But to be honest, this is just a body. The soul itself that we can't see is the knower of the body, yeah? The kshetragya. And then there is super soul, which is Paramatma, seated in everyone's body. So that Paramatma is watching what I'm doing, what I'm not doing, whether I'm putting up a show or whether I'm doing something. And you don't need to impress anyone, because the person that you really need to impress is there in your heart. Yes? So we can be very secure in our lives that I don't care what people think. If I don't appear cool to them because I'm too Krishna conscious or not Krishna conscious, or I'm not enough Krishna conscious to some people, I have my journey and I will take my path towards that journey, right? And desire comes into it. So knowledge means, the real knowledge means that which you can understand your connection and form a connection with the super soul and with Paramatma. Yes? Because now you've got this lovely child in your hand. What's his name? Krishiv. And Saurya. Okay. So do you give them glass of water? Yeah. Do you make sure that you give them milk? Yeah? They know you have to do everything without even them asking for it. Yeah? And when they start crying, the whole hell breaks, and you try and give them absolutely everything that they want. But before they even cry, parents know this is what my child wants, and they tend to give. Yeah? So this is how amazing things are. So automatically, you know what to do for your child. So similarly, the real knowledge is when we are going to be able to form a connection with our Supreme Personality of Godhead, with this soul and body, because we are essentially fragmental. Although we're not like, the analogy is given as a gold mine and a little gold. So this is not like gold mine. This is still gold, still got the same qualities. So also the soul inside us is got Satchit Anand. It's got the same qualities as that of the Supreme Personality, and hence the reason why we always feel so much bliss when we come to temple, when we take the darshan, because we feel connection and we feel connected, to Shishi Radha Gokulananda ji. Those are the big qualities, and from there we've got little qualities. But if we then form a connection, start lovingly serve them, start serving them, then automatically you make a relation, right? So how can we do that? We all have to cook at home. If you think I'm not just cooking for my children, if you think I'm cooking for my deities, and you cook with that mentality, offer to Krishna first, then give to the family. If you can't cook anything, you can have fruits, right? You can have water, you can offer leaf, you can offer flower. Krishna doesn't want our money. Krishna doesn't want anything else apart from our bhav, our love, yeah? So as long as we're offering whatever we have, whatever we are able to do with love and devotion, then Krishna would accept, because Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita, right? So we've talked about little bit about remembrance, because I mentioned to you that children don't know anything, but they still know it's their mom. I remember my daughter-in-law Seema, when her daughter and when our grandson was born, they could just smell her. Even when they couldn't see, their eyes are not fully formed, they can't see, if you do research, what they can see in 1 month and so on. But they can smell their mother. You can't fool and say, oh, come there, and they immediately start crying, isn't it? So Krishna gives us that remembrance from the time that we are born, yeah? And obviously there's a lot of remembrance whilst you're inside, so it's good to thank someone who is actually someone, Supreme Personality of Godhead, who reminds you every single day, you are whoever you are. Imagine your life, when we forget. Now he talks about knowledge, which we've spoken about. The knowledge comes, and I've mentioned to you the analogy is also from like a king. So how we know ourselves, because I know I am the same person that I was 12 once upon a time, I was 6, now I'm 50 plus. So, but I know I'm the same person, because we talked about the Kshetragya, the knower of the field and the field. But the person who is Paramatma is like, we can think in terms of king. Say king's got his palace. But not only he knows about his palace, but he also knows about his citizens' places and the fields and the houses, because he needs taxes to be collected and all the other stuff. Unlike us, similarly, Krishna, not only he knows, say for me, Vrinda, Vilasini, but they'll also know you. They'll also know Mataji. They'll also know our dear God sister there, Sachi Mata, and their heart. So he knows pretty much everybody. And that's what he's saying there. I'm seated in everyone's heart. So he's Paramatma. And he's giving us the remembrance, he's giving us the knowledge, and we need to make most of that knowledge by making sure that we connect and build our relationship and carry on progressively desiring to build and firm up that relationship. Because if we don't have will, where there's will, there's way, right? You'll find a way of doing something if you like to do something. If you don't like to do something, nobody can make you, yeah? So Krishna is so, so merciful. And how is he merciful when he makes us forget things? Imagine what your life was like previously, and maybe if you've gone through some trauma or horrendous problems, and if you are living this life and every time you remember that, do you think you'll be able to function it? Forget any of these things. Just think today, in today's day and age, who's had any operations? Or any medical conditions? Anyone?
Operations.
Huh?
Operations.
Yes. Surgeries. Not nice, are they?
Well, if you're anesthetized, then you can handle it.
But even sometimes when you're trying to be anesthetic, does not work sometimes. And my younger son's going through some medical issues at the moment. And they did one biopsy of something on him, and the next thing we know, to correct that, because they made mistake, they had to do 7 surgical things in 8 weeks that he was. And this was only meant to be a little small something. It was not even supposed to be big. But one thing goes wrong, then you think, and if I say to him, shall we go to that hospital, do you think he's going to love the idea of going there? Do you think his body is going to not repel the thought of going to that hospital? So similarly, if Krishna did not give us forgetfulness, and you remembered everything that janams that we've had so many births and rebirths and reincarnations and all these other things that people have probably done to us, which was good or bad or who knows, ugly, we don't know. Thankfully, we don't know. And we don't want to remember. Earlier on, I was making a point. Even if somebody is not nice to you in this day and age, that don't hold it grudges in your heart, because then you're letting them win. Then you're making your heart into dustbin. The idea is that you shed all these things. One has to learn their lessons, okay? But move on. Forgive, forget, move on. Because what have you got to lose? Right? So whatever happens does not happen without the will of Krishna. So forgetfulness in those circumstances is quite appreciated. For example, some of us who are mothers here, if you've had to give birth to a child, you know, it's something that we don't know. The first time I didn't know, I didn't care anything. Second time around, you know exactly what you're going to go through, and it's scary stuff. But how Krishna does magic in the sense that you still, as a parent, can remember, but you don't remember the exact pain. You forget. So it's a good thing in life when something bad's happening to us or has happened to us, that we can put it behind us and then move on. Yeah. So for those reasons, Krishna is obviously not reminding us of what we did in last life, how we again ended up being born, what mistakes we did. He's actually making sure that we are ready to pick up the work that we will have to do in this life and focus in this life, so that we can carry on making progress in our, rather than worrying about what's happened in past, actually think future, think present, and make focus of this life and make it worthwhile by trying to get to the goal of this life. Yeah? So this is how merciful the Lord is, because He's trying to help us. Not only He's trying to help us digest our food, not only He's providing us everything that is out there in material life in terms of your food, prasad, bhoga, but also He's also giving us, the remembrance, the forgetfulness, the knowledge with which we can desire to move forward. Yeah? And the second half of this, Lord shows us that what He desires is totally different to what we as living entity desired, which was previously just enjoyment. Hence the reason we've fallen into this material world. Children don't know any better, but Krishna does. Parents do. When you take him to park, he's playing, but you are aware of the time. Similarly, we became forgetful of our relationship with Krishna, right? But Krishna is so merciful parent, He hasn't forgotten us. He's still there waiting for us to come back to Him. And He is giving us all these things, like I was talking about Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita 10.10 and 11. Lord gives us knowledge. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupiyanti te. To those who are constantly devoted to serve me with love, I give them the understanding by which they can come to me. Yeah? Tesham satatam yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. So you have to do some certain actions before He would be taking care of you and giving you that intellect by which you can then automatically find your will to get back to Krishna and the goal of your life. Yeah. So and then he says again in 10.11, to show special mercy, I dwelling in their hearts, destroy with shining lamp the knowledge, the darkness born of ignorance. So tesham ivanukampartham aham ajnanajam tama nashami atma bhavasto jnana deepena bhashvato. And again, Vedanta Sutra, which means the essence of all Vedas. And what is the essence of all Vedas? Is Srimad Bhagavatam. Why? Because it states in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.3, Nigama kalpaturu galitam phalam, that all the people who are expert and they're thoughtful, they relish Srimad Bhagavatam because it's deemed as the mature fruit of the desire tree of Vedic literatures. So, galitam phalam, so this is like a ripened food. So in conclusion, Vedanta Sutra, Srimad Bhagavatam, when Sri Krishna left, Krishna svadhamo pagate dharma jnana dibhik saha kalau nashta drisham esha puranarko dhunodita. So he said when he left this world, in the age of dark Kali, the only light or sunshine we're going to get is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Or this is what Sri Krishna, when he left this planet, stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.3.43. And then we know there's three things: Sadhu, Shastra, and Srimad Bhagavatam. And what is the difference between Sadhu? Sadhu, definition is given in Srimad Bhagavatam 3.25.21. Is Tititsakash Karunikam Suhridam Sarvadehinam. So somebody who's tolerant, merciful, friendly, sublime, peaceful, and abides by the scripture. That's why they say whether you read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, or whether you have association of a sadhu, because sadhu is essentially alive, living the instructions of that book. Not much difference. Bhagavat, person, and Bhagavatam, scriptures. So Krishna has been so merciful, he's given us all of these things. All we need to do is take our steps towards it. And one of the last verses that I will say is from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 22.54, which says, Sadhu Sangha Sarva Shastre Kae Lava Matra Sadhu Sange Sarva Siddhi Hoy. So there is absolutely lava is basically 1/11th of a second. They're saying association of pure devotees of Krishna, it's all revealed in the scriptures. Even in the moment's association, one can attain all success to go back to Godhead and to just having that desire fulfilled to be associating with the spiritually like-minded people. Okay, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki. So all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj, and please take some steps, practical steps, to bring Krishna into your life and do some practical aspects, and make sure that you are taking the cues of Krishna showing you the remembrance, knowledge, and the forgetfulness in the right measure to attain the goal of our life, which is Golok Vrindavan Dham, hopefully eventually in God knows however many births. Thank you all for coming. Hare Krishna. Aarti will be next now.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namo Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashtatyarishatarine Kiva Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Arati Shobha Janavi Tatavane Jagamana Lobha Kiva Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Arati Shobha Jaya Jaya Janavi Tatavane Jagamana Lobha Gaurangera Rotikshobha Jagajanamana Lobha Gaurangera Rotikshobha Jagajanamana Lobha Dakine Nitai Chand Bame Gadadhara Dakine Nitai Chand Bame Gadadhara Nikate Advaita Srinivasa Chatradhara Nikate Advaita Srinivasa Chatradhara Boshi Yache Gaurachand Ratna Simhasane Boshi Yache Gaurachand Ratna Simhasane Arati Koren Brahma Arirevagane Arati Koren Brahma Arirevagane Narahari Ari Kori Shamaradulaya Narahari Ari Kori Shamaradulaya Sanjaya Mukunda Bashu Ghosh Arigaya Sanjaya Mukunda Bashu Ghosh Arigaya Shanka Bhaje Ganta Bhaje Bhaje Karatala Shanka Bhaje Ganta Bhaje Bhaje Karatala Mathura Mridanga Bhaje Paramarasala Mathura Mridanga Bhaje Paramarasala Shanka Bhaje Ganta Bhaje Mathur 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 Bhaje Shanka Bhaje Ganta Bhaje Mathur 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 Bhaje Shanka Bhaje Ganta Bhaje Mathur 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 Bhaje Haribo 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo Nitai Gaura Haribo 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo Bahu Koti Chandrajini Vadana Ujvala Bahu Koti Chandrajini Vadana Ujvala Gala Deshe Banamala Kore Jala Mala Radeshe Banamala Kore Jvala Mala Shiva Shuka Narada Preme Gada Gada Shiva Shuka Narada Preme Gada Gada Bhaktivedanta Gaurara Sampara Bhaktivedanta Gaurara Sampara Shiva Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Arati Shobha Shiva Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Arati Shobha Janavita Tavane Jagamana Lova Gaurangara Ruti Shobha Jagat Janamana Lobha Gaurangara Rutik Shobha Jagat Janamana Lobha Gaurangara Rutik Shobha Jagat Janamana Lobha Haribol, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribol. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Little louder. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Please everybody bow down, heads touching the floor as we chant our Prema Dhvani prayers. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Ashtotara Satashishiman His Divine Grace Srila Abhay Charan Aravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtotara Sata Shri Sriman. His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakti Vrinda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinatha Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda Ki Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Ki Shri Shri Gauranitai Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Shri Navadip Dham Ki Ganga Mai Ki Yamuna Mai Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Tulasi Devi Ki Samaveta Bhakti Vrinda Ki Janitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories unto the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please remain seated and we will chant prayers to Lord Nrsimhadev, whose portrait is front left on the wall, just beside the altar. If you don't know, this is Krishna in his half man, half lion incarnation.
Nrsimhadev ki, Prahlad Maharaj ki, Gaur Premanande.
Hare Krishna. So now we will have our Kirtan session here from now until 9:30. So you're most welcome to come and stay with us. And if you feel like having a Mahaprasadam, which is outside in the reception hall. Thank you.
Gracias.